everyone, my name is Sandra. Welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited to share this particular brush pen video with you. So it is a brush pen review video, and these are the Stabilo brush pens. So the number is 68 and it says brush on the actual pen. So to clarify before we get into it, the Stabilo .88 are fine liners, and they have a yellow body with this like white accent and then the color on the both ends. And it says Stabilo .88 fine tip .4. So now there's another marker that I don't have called the Stabilo .68. It is a 1mm bullet tip for coloring, and I do not have them. I'm looking to potentially get them because I've got some uses in mind. I don't actually have a marker other than the Crayola Super Tips that is a 1mm. And these are the newer ones, the brush pens. So when I say newer, they have been on Amazon probably for the last year or so, and they were quite expensive at one point. So I noticed that Amazon prices fluctuate quite dramatically. These pens, as I've been kind of watching them over the last year, they got up to about $100, and then they finally went on sale for like 50, so I bought them. Yes, that's right, you've heard me, a $50 difference. And I kind of am flabbergasted by that because I'm not going to spend like $100 on brush pens unless I know that they're a good brush pen. And I haven't seen many reviews of these particular ones. I decided to try them out, and it's actually funny because the day that I decided, well, no, I've been meaning to buy them for a long time, but the day that they were coming in the mail, Sarah from Ensign Insights released a video on them saying that she had them for a long time and she just didn't do a video on them. So her video was released just recently, and now this video won't be up until sometime in March, but I am filming this March 1st. And I just watched her video last night on the 28th. I'm going to link her in the cards because it's definitely a good idea to check out multiple reviews on any brush pen that you want to purchase, because people have different opinions, and she's got lots of brush pens and she really knows her stuff, and she's really, really good with brush lettering, and everyone's opinions are different sometimes, so it's good to always check multiple sources. So in this review, I'm going to swatch the colors first. It's something that I always do, but I must not have looked at the picture very closely and I feel kind of gypped because it says 25 brush pens, but now it's saying up here, double up on your favorite colors. It's this little yellow sticker, and basically on this purple, they've got a duplicate purple, teal, blue, gray, and I think that's either a red or a brown. But they're duplicate colors, so you're not really getting 25 brush pens, you're actually only getting 20. So just as a heads up, just so you guys know, and there are 2 blacks that come in the kit as well. It is a tin case that you get. So I really like that. I like that it's packaged this way. It came in really sturdy packaging too, by the way. It was like this cardboard box inside a bubble mailer. So I really appreciate the packaging. When you open it up, mine were kind of all mixed up when I first got them, so I just put them in a random order. This gray should probably go here. So as you can see, there's 2 of them, 2 blacks. There's 2 of the blues, 2 of the greens, like the teal color, 2 of the reds, and 2 purples. So yeah, I'm not doubly impressed with that because I was under the impression there were 25 separate colors, because normally you don't really look at the tiny image. I guess it was my fault because I didn't see, and I don't really regret it because I was looking for another a medium tipped brush pen. One thing I do want to mention before I get into the color swatches is that Sarah was saying she compared these to the Kiritaki Food Biori, and I'm going to show you what they look like as well. Now this one is the metallic one, and she said that they're a medium nib. I kind of classify it as a large nib. I guess it can be up to interpretation. It really does depend on your opinion at this point. But the one that I would compare these brush pens to the most is probably the Caran d'Ache Fabralo brush pen. they're probably the most similar. And we'll get down to comparison after. We're going to do a little bit of blending technique because yes, they're a medium brush pen, but I'd probably blend with them if I was doing headers and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and do swatches, and then we will talk about the pen itself. So now that we're done with swatches, and like, I don't know what I did here. I like completely swerved to the right. Sorry about that, guys, but you can still see the color selection. So these two here, like the violet color, I don't know if you call that violet, maybe it's magenta. Anyway, those two colors are duplicates. This deep red is a duplicate. And actually the greens are different. The teal is a duplicate. The blues are duplicate, the grays and the black. So I don't know if you'd say that those are favorite colors, because that's what it says here. Double up on your favorite colors. Those aren't necessarily everybody's favorite colors. I do like this color and the teal, of course. They're some of my favorites, but I mean, not everybody likes the same colors. So anyway, all that aside, my overall impression is that they are a really good quality brush pen. So that's number one. Number two, they are kind of pricey because, like I said, I found them on Amazon for almost $100, which is ridiculous. And honestly, that's why I didn't buy them when they were $100, because I don't think they're worth $100 for 20 of the same color, or for 20 markers. Of course, I'm excluding the duplicate colors. But of course, I needed to try them out because everybody is looking for brush pens that they can easily find in their country. Now, I am from Canada, so I don't know how easy it is to find them elsewhere. Another thing I wanted to point out is that Sarah said she only got the 10 pack and there was no pink in that pack. Do you notice there is no pink in this one either? And this is the largest one that I could find. So just as a side note, there's no pink in this one either. Oh, and that frustrates me because pink is also one of my favorite colors. So I'd look at this as like a cherry color. This is red, that's peach, and that's more like a Merlot color. It's interesting, actually. I wonder why they excluded a pink. So now the swatching is done. Let's talk about the pen itself. So if you are familiar with the Stabilo brand, the barrel of the pen is this so it's a hexagon shaped pen barrel, and it doesn't roll away. It does stay in one spot, which is good. A lot of people kind of like that in a pen. It's comfortable to hold, so it's not completely awkward where your finger would get sore after a long time. I mean, you might, because it's resting. It depends how you hold your pen, but it is resting right here. I tend to get a callus on my middle finger from holding my pen there. And it only has the one end, so it is not a double-sided pen. The brush pen itself is fairly short, but it kind of looks like a Tombow when you look at it, just a lot smaller version. And when you write with it, if I press down as hard as I can, the line is pretty thick. However, you can also get variations of downstroke depending on how hard you press. So for me, that's something that I don't love in a brush pen. That's why I prefer the Tombows, because when you press down, it's generally like the same width no matter what, unless you're really trying to press really hard and destroy your brush pen. So I'm not sure I love the flexibility, but it does seem to bounce back pretty quickly, which is good because it's one thing that you look for in a high quality, expensive brush pen. So one thing I was noticing when I was playing around with them earlier is I was getting a floppy downstroke area here. It was kind of flopping back up, but it seems to be okay. It's kind of the same thing that happens to me when I use the Marvy the Marvy color in, because they're so floppy, but those ones are very popular. People really like those. This is kind of like the same idea, except the brush pen nib is a lot smaller than that one. So that's interesting to note. Of course, the upstroke is only as skinny as your hand is light, meaning that you can get really fine upstroke if you press really gently. So that's good. Now I just want to compare it to the Fabralo and the Fiuto. So here's the Fiuto. Let's see. So yeah, I kind of feel like this is more of a large brush pen. I don't know. But if you compare the nib, it is a lot longer. And actually, we're going to compare the Fabralo right next to it. So let's do this. This is the Stabilo. And then here is the Fabralo. Yeah, very, very similar to the Fabralo, but actually the Fabralo Caran d'Ache pen is a little bit more flimsy, and it has that like difference in downstroke too. So if I was, and I remember I liked these ones, the Caran d'Ache Fabralo, but I felt like I didn't use them as much because of that. But the reason I wanted the medium brush pen was so I could make headers that weren't too small, but also that weren't too big, like the Tombos. So these ones are a bit more firm than the Caran d'Ache, and they have a good bounce back. Actually, I really like these. And I'm just disappointed in the color selection because, yeah, I assumed that there were 25 different colors, and I also assumed I'd get a pink with a larger brush pen set. But this color is really pretty. I'm such a sucker for pretty colors. Okay, so now I want to try a little bit of blending just to see what that looks like. And I'm just going to like letter, I don't know, a word, I guess. So there's a couple of brush pen blending techniques that I like. This probably isn't the paper for this. I am using the HP Premium 32, and I wouldn't use my brush pens on watercolor paper, but you could blend them using like a cardstock paper that has a little bit more oilness, like oily feeling to it, so that the ink actually lays on top of the paper instead of absorbing into the paper. But actually, I'm quite impressed. That's a pretty good blend. I just want to try with different colors so that I can see. See what this color looks like as well. Let's try orange. And if you're really careful and you like kind of use little hairline strokes, you don't even need to like blend it out. It just looks kind of natural. That's really pretty, actually. I didn't even have to do anything with that. But I do have my trusty water brush pen on hand. And again, it's probably just going to destroy this paper, but as long as you're really quick, I find the same thing with Tombos. You have to be pretty quick. But this blends really nicely. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but it just makes it a little bit prettier. And you don't even see that transition. That's so nice. Okay. The other thing that I would normally do is take some of the ink from one of the pens on the water brush, like so, just kind of color it. And then you've kind of got your watercolor effect this way. But honestly, if I was to do a watercolor effect, I would much rather just use pens, like larger brush pens that were meant for that. So Tombos are more of a lettering pen, in my opinion, only because the tip is so good. But Sakura Koi are good for that, as well as the Kiritaki Fidabiori. They're actually really good for that too. And I would probably get, if you were going to use them as a water brush pen, I would use a fairly cheap pen because you're going to pretty much destroy the brush tip pen nib every time you put some color down, unless you use one of those blending palettes and then you just, color in the little cup holder. That's a good idea too. And also, if you watch Sarah from Inside Insights, she does that, and she does this cute little rainbow card. So I'd advise to check out her video so you guys can get an idea of the way she blends and stuff. I just want to try it with the brown. I'm a sucker for blending. Although I don't really blend as much in my bullet journal or anything. I think I would do it more, I'd be more likely to do it if I was doing like a project, like a blending project, a brush pen thing for somebody. But yeah, I haven't done that. I think I've done a gouache painting, I've done some regular painting, but I haven't really done blending and lettering with a brush pen. But that is one of my projects I am going to have in the future. I'm going to use every single brush pen that I own and do like a word piece and some blending techniques because I haven't done that yet. So yeah, surprisingly, even on this paper, these blend quite nicely. So you guys can kind of see here, and it's really pretty. You can barely see the transition. So my overall opinion of these brush pens, other than the fact that they are pricey, I really like them. So if you do have the extra money to spend on them, then I'd say go ahead and try them out for yourself. Just be a little bit leery of the price because it fluctuates, and that's what kind of got me. I don't really understand how it fluctuates so much, but the normal price for them is about $65, $70. So if you can find them for cheaper than that, then I think you're good to go. And I mean, the colors that they have are absolutely beautiful. So that is a winning feature in my point. And I would say that the pen that they're most likely similar to is definitely the Caran d'Ache Fabralos. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Have you tried these? Have you heard of them? And if so, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also, if you're new here, I'd love if you would subscribe. And again, click on that bell notification button so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. We'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye.